Oh, hello. Stuff's here. Yeah. Alright. I love not having frames. Who needs them anyway? You know? who needs them? 'Cause I totally don't. Not at all. I just love the fact that they just teleport. And cool.
I got supplies if you need them. No one lasts long on Gorgon unprepared.
Alright.
Is that what my thoughts sound like? Law, I've been standing near that alarm too long. You looking for supplies, stranger? Let's stock up here. If you run low on bullets out in Gorgon's far reaches, there ain't no one round here liable to help you out. Let me know if you're looking for something particular.
I take that evacuation alarm wasn't urgent.
Huh? Oh, you don't gotta worry about that. Something to do with that scrap Project Gorgon from years back. Thanks for turning it off, by the way. I'd have lost my mind if the damn thing had gone on much longer.
Did you forget to walk, or were you too dumb to think to stand elsewhere?
Maybe a little of the second one, if you're inclined to believe the local gossip. Well, this is the perfect spot for trading. Would have been better without being told to evacuate all the time, but the control terminal wouldn't listen to physical persuasion. I know, because even Von Hoffman couldn't bash it in. And I seen that tough son of a gun throw man clean across the Sprat Shack one time like he were a toss ball.
Okay, well, so what can you tell me about it?
Only that Spacer's Choice shut it down in a big hurry. From what I heard, some of their folks got left behind even. Don't seem like the project ended well.
Oh, really? I wouldn't have expected that.
You mean you came out to this asteroid without knowing nothing about it? Me too. Heard it was wild here and couldn't resist. Trouble is, if you wander off to somewhere you oughtn't be, like way out in Gorgon's farthest reaches, odds are slimmer of your bits finding their way to my pockets. If you want my advice, stick close to the Sprat Shack, unless you fancy having your limbs torn off and eaten.
Give him your best unimpressed look.
You okay? Does your stomach hurt or something? Look, I ain't stopping you from wandering elsewhere. But if you do, be sure you watch out for the Marauders. That's the #1 thing. And the Mance, I guess. You watch out for Marauders, Mance, and Charles from accounting, and you'll probably be fine.
Who's Charles?
Only the meanest Marauder on Gorgon, and also anywhere else. That man is crazier than a bag of canids and twice as likely to bite. He will bust your head open like an overripe mock apple if he so much as sees you. I ain't joking. He'll snap you in half like stale bread noodles.
You're making me hungry.
Sorry. Been a minute since I last ate. Charles from accounting is like... Imagine if you took 3 of the most howling mad marauders you could find and mashed them together. That's Charles.
0 times 3 is still 0.
While humorous and true, I believe you may be missing the intended point here, Captain.
You ain't listening to me, huh? Well, I warned you. If you run off and get exploded to death by a madman with a rocket launcher now, that's on you.
Oh, wait, go back to the part?
Sure, okay. He's got a rocket launcher.
How do you get it?
Couldn't say. He kills anyone who gets close enough to ask. Look, long story short, you do not fuck with Chuck. Best to avoid the Marauder camp entirely. That's my 2 bits on the matter.
So I'm hearing that we are purging an entire Marauder encampment. Cool.
Yeah?
Where did you say it was again?
The Marauder camp way out to the east. That's what I heard, at least. And I sure hope you're asking so you can keep a safe distance away.
Totally, 100%.
Found a pickaxe in the mine like none I've ever seen before. Could be awful useful if you're the violent type.
Handy deconstruction tool. Okay. I mean, hey, why not? When did I get this? But I'll take it. So. Yeah, boy. Now I have a flamethrower.
That was quick.
Yeah, it is quick. I know how I am. Oh. Alright. Now let's actually go to the Sprat house. Or the Sprat shack, I guess. What the fuck? Check electricity. Play, return to route, shipping history, outgoing shipments. Oh no. Alright. Okay. Messages. Da 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 da. Stuff and things you cannot read. I don't care really much. Alright. Sprat. Apparently, if it's outside, it's free. Free for anyone to use. You want some stimulation? That totally does not sound like a thing that you would use for certain activities. Alright. What the fuck are you? Oh, you're also a Sprat. Okay. Okay. So anyway. The Sprat Shack exterior. Oh my god. I ain't feeling tired. It sucks. It really does.
Come here. Let's have a chat.
Sure, what's up?
All right, inspection time. Look at my eyes for as long as you can without blinking. Starting now. Good. Look up. Now look down. You're doing swell. Now, name and occupation.
Me.
Good enough for me. You're cleared to pass. That was a sanity check. If you had changed like the others, it'd be in your eyes. You'd also be drooling, cursing, and making a mess of the place. Welcome to the Sprat Shack. You can head on downstairs.
Well, hold on. What do you mean when you said people had changed?
Every day, salvagers and scrappers set out to comb the ruins and make their fortune. The ones who come back, they aren't always the same men or women who left. They change. Never for the better.
Well, what happens when they change?
First, they get real twitchy and paranoid, shouting at folks who aren't there. Then they smell like they soiled themselves, on account of how they soiled themselves. After that, they're gone. Nothing but animals wearing human skin. Seen it happen myself. It's never pretty.
So where exactly
This
am
is
I?
the Sprat Shack, the most remote watering hole in the system. Rule number 1, no fighting. Rule number 2, wipe your feet on the way downstairs. We're the only hospitable place on this rock. I want to keep it that way. That's why we have rule number 3. When people change, they stay outside, where they belong.
Alright, that's... works for me. Well, let me ask you something else.
Just don't ask me to dance.
Oh, I wish there was a chance to actually ask that. That would have been funny. That should have been pretty funny.
Bouncer, bodyguard, law enforcer. I make sure the Sprat Shack gets only the highest caliber of clientele.
That's us.
Yes, your presence screams high class.
Mm-hmm.
We get a lot of brand-loyal corporate types, and a lot of cutthroat freelancer types. Both sides have their share of dirty scoundrels. And I hate dirt.
Good to know.
This is a sublight bar, so most of our regulars come to plunder the old labs. The facility's locked up behind miles of red tape, so progress is slow.
A lot of time to drink and reevaluate, then venture out and try again.
Alright, so what do you know about Gorgon?
Something bad happened here. Spacer's Choice was developing chemicals. The kind with nasty side effects. Marauders outnumber the rest of us 10 to 1. Either they came from Gorgon, or something draws them here. I don't know which is worse. This place is under a dark cloud, stranger. That's all I know. If you want the history of the Sprat Shack, talk to Lex behind the bar.
Okay, will do. See you around, buddy.
Watch yourself out there.
Yay. Oh, of course.
Oh, ugh. This place smells like Felix's birth.
A true den of iniquity. How refreshing.
It's ironic that you're saying it's refreshing when Barbara, you just said that it smelled like shit, essentially. So.
Welcome to the Sprat Shack. First one's on the house, and I won't even water it down. What'll it be?
I'm feeling refined.
Bottoms up. I assume you're here for salvage.
Actually, I came for a journal.
Can't help you there. This ain't exactly a library.
Okay, well,
Most of my regulars are sublight scavengers. They pick over the ruins of Gorgon, spend their earnings at the bar, and head back out the next day. Vicious cycle, but that's life. You're the first new face I've seen in a while.
what do you know about Gorgon?
Spacer's Choice used to brew pharmaceuticals in these parts. That's why the asteroid smells like an old gym sock. They say Adrenatime came from here, just down the road at the old R&D lab. Very hush-hush back in the day.
Would any of your regulars have any more information about Gorgon?
Roscoe might tell you more. He spent some time around here before the bar opened up. And I trust him well enough.
Okay.
There's always Leonora, my favorite customer over in the storage room on the second floor. Keeps to herself and always closes out her tab.
I can appreciate a person who can close out their tab. All right, what's his
He's been
story
here
though?
since opening day. I think he told me he was some kind of journalist. He got left
Journalist.
behind when Spacer's Choice pulled out. And I guess no one's coming to get him.
Poor bastard. They're looking out for him.
Roscoe's drinks are on the house. We all know how it feels to get left behind. He'll be all right. He's with the family now, and we take care of our own.
Okay, relax there, Dominic Toretto email version. Alright, so why did he get left behind?
He didn't tell me, and I didn't ask. I'm his bartender, not his human resources rep. If you believe the chatter, a lot of good folks got left behind, and a lot of bad folks made it out. Sometimes that's all there is to it.
Alright, well what about Leonora?
Nice lady. Been coming around a lot these past few months. She isn't with Sublight, but seems to know the lay of the land better than anyone. She spends most of her days drinking alone. I think she's looking to hire someone. If you're open to a side gig.
Do you know if she spoke with Lucky Montoya at all?
You know Lucky? Small asteroid. Now that you mention it, I thought I saw those two sharing stories over a pint. Didn't think twice about it. I don't speak ill of the dead, but Leonora deserves better company. That Lucky was no good for her.
So you knew him?
Lucky? Sure, I knew him. He could get a little dramatic at times, but he was a good guy.
At
Heard he
times.
took on a dangerous job. Spent a lot of time coming and going from the Office of Creative Incubation, just down the road.
Go on.
The way he talked about the job, you just knew Lucky had hit pay dirt. Not that I was jealous. Around here, that sort of luck can be hazardous to your health.
Touche.
Awful shame about what happened to him.
I know about the severed arm, but the rest is a mystery.
You know about that? Huh. Word must travel fast around these parts. Last I saw of Lucky was a few days ago. I went outside for a smoke and a stroll, and I saw this wild canid dragging a bloody limb. So I kicked the canid, scared it off.
Go on.
Get this, the canid was chewing on an honest-to-law human arm. Lucky's arm.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, the arm was clutching a phonograph that mentioned someone named Alex Hawthorne. I did some
Oh.
poking around, and this Hawthorne has a reputation among the salvagers who frequent the bar. So I packaged up the arm nice and tidy and sent it care of the Halcyon Parcel Service. They even gave me a discount on the hazardous waste removal stamp.
Well, arm made it to me. Says next of kin. Well, technically I'm the perpetrator of this death, but that's besides the point.
No kidding. And now you're here? Colony feels smaller than you'd think some days.
Yeah, it only
I'm
took me
glad
a couple
I
of
was here
months.
to see this confluence of events, you know? The stars really aligned on this one. And here I am, smack dab in the middle.
So why bother sending the arm at all?
I figured Hawthorne would want to know what happened to his pal. Help Lucky get his affairs in order, you know. Oh, I hate to see people go with unfinished business.
By the way, speaking of which, where was he staying?
3rd floor. Once I figured he wasn't coming back to pay his tab, I left his room unlocked to air it out. You can help yourself to anything you left behind. Fair warning, I've been letting the regulars use it for a quick lie down. Just wash your hands when you're done. Trust me.
I did not need to know that that place was used as a fuck area, okay? I did not need to know that at all. But thank you. I'll burn everything in there. So you run this place?
Yes and no. The Sprat Shack used to be a shipping and receiving warehouse during the old Project Gorgon days. When Spacer's Choice pulled their guys off-world, Sublight moved in to salvage what we could, and they put me in charge.
So they own the Sprat Shack.
Yes and no.
No, what?
Rumor has it there's a Sprat wandering around the Groundbreaker, and he's the legal owner of the Sprat Shack. Hagen's idea.
Dare I ask why?
See, Hagen didn't want a paper trail that led back to her, so she gave the bar to the Sprat. If there were any legal problems with this place, the Sprat would do the time.
Most businesses in Halcyon are run by sprats, but this is the first I've heard of it being openly acknowledged.
You think a Sprat could own Edgewater? Oh. Imagine one wearing Mr. Thompson's little hat.
Anyway, that's what the paperwork says. I don't make the rules.
I mean, that is kind of funny when you really think about it now, Aaron, right? It is pretty good. Well, anyway, is that even, like, legal?
I know there's paperwork backing it up. You put enough stamps and staples on anything, I'm pretty sure it's legal by default. The beautiful thing is, no one could tell Matt Sprat apart from an ordinary German. I think that's kind of the point, to send the authorities on a wild Sprat chase.
And what if Ethel Galber turns him into Spratwurst?
Never thought about that. Shit, someone could have eaten my boss. As far as business arrangements go, this one's a head-scratcher, but they say it's all above board, so that's what matters.
So, do they mind you squatting in their warehouse?
Yes and no. We're doing a lot more than squatting. We're classing up the joint, keeping the riffraff outside where it belongs. They didn't even serve drinks until I arrived. Talk about wasted potential.
Can you answer any questions, officer? Yes or no?
Yes. And no.
Fuck
And
you.
then that one was Hagen's idea. She told me that speaking in vague terms keeps you out of trouble. And I don't want any trouble in my place.
Alright, well, how'd you get supplies in and out?
Thirsty people come and go from all over the colony. Mostly on the way to somewhere better. Some are well-connected. And not everyone pays with bits. That's how we get the unconventional goods anyhow. Sublight keeps us well-stocked with the essentials. By which I mean booze.
Alright, I'm gonna go have a look
Seeing
around.
you.
Thank you very much. So, 3rd floor. But first off, let's actually look around here. Oh, vending machine, nice. Not selling that. I don't have any junk to sell anyway. Okay, we can't do anything here. Bar patron Trixie.
That was my salvage, Trixie. You had no right to it then, and you've no right to it now.
I risked my life sneaking around Marauders to claim that wreck. And I didn't see your name on it.
Now you've done it. Eat fist!
All right, that's enough. This is a family establishment. You want to make a mess? You make it outside.
But this was personal, Lex. It's a question of salvage. That wreck was gonna make me a fortune.
Now you two listen, this is my place. While you're in the Sprat Shack, you'll sit quietly or I'll forbid you to come here at all. Is that understood?
Fair's fair. I'll have a stout, and we'll settle this later on our own terms.
It's no good to leave a fight unresolved. If I don't do something, these two are gonna be at each other's throats.
Well, what do you propose?
Would you do me a favor and weigh in as a third party? I can use an unbiased set of eyes on the problem. And an outsider like you fits the bill.
So you want me to decide their drunken argument?
If you wouldn't mind.
Why not just get von Hoffman?
This isn't von Hoffman material. Calling up von Hoffman would be like swatting a fly with a sledgehammer.
Alright, well, I'll give it a whirl.
Freddy, Trixie, go on and make your case to the generous stranger.
I'll start, seeing as I'm the one who's been most wronged in this equation.
Alright, state your names for the tavern.
Oh, very formal. Freddy the Scab, freelancer for sublight salvage and shipping, same as my father before me.
Junkyard Trixie, also a salvage freelancer, though I've been at it longer than Freddy.
So, just up the road and due east of here, there's a shipwreck lodged in the mountainside, right?
Mm-hmm.
I staked my claim on that wreck. Then I wandered in for a drink. An hour later, Trixie swaggers in bragging about her salvage.
Alright, so
The nerve of some people.
how did you mark the claim?
I climbed on top of it and called out in my loudest voice, "Finders keepers!"
Is that
I
legal?
don't know about legal, but it's legit by sublight standards. Assuming anyone was around to hear it, which we can't know for sure.
Someone must have heard me. They just ain't brave enough to step forward and admit it.
Okay, well, what's your side of the story?
When I found the shipwreck, there were no salvage mark. See, the whole area was teeming with bloodthirsty marauders. So I snuck around and added my tag, clear as day so no drunken idiots could claim the salvage out from under me, Freddy.
For the record, when I heard the marauders coming, I left. Trixie must have set her mark down after me.
Quit leading the prosecution, Hullhead. Anyway, that's my story, sir.
So what was the mark that you left on the salvage?
I drew an X in the dirt, with my toe.
Couldn't the monitors have walked over by now, or the wind blown it away?
Wouldn't surprise me in the least, but that doesn't mean it ain't mine.
In all my years, I've never heard a more contentious argument. I don't envy your shoulders for bearing the weight of responsibility. You've heard it from them both. So, who gets the salvage?
They don't know how to fucking tag salvage, so I'm not gonna rule in anyone's favor.
That ain't no kind of fair.
He ain't even from around here, Lex.
Here's a six-pack on the house, plus your fee.
Thank you.
Maybe now we'll finally get some peace around here for a change.
Look, honestly, if I go there, I'm taking everything and y'all can go F yourself. Like, you can't mark. If you can mark properly, that is pertinent, then it'll be fine. Anyway, does it happen often?
A little too often if you ask me, but that's the sublight way. Anything worth doing is worth fighting over.
I'm glad to be of service at least. See you around.
Come and chat if you're ever feeling thirsty.
Will do.
That's my captain.
Very diplomatic, Captain. Though fighting would be preferable to another conversation such as that.
Understood. I'll take your word for mine. Anyway, that being done,
You think the folks here like strangers? Because some of them are looking at us like maybe not.
I mean, we are...
Surprisingly, this place exhibits an aesthetically pleasing use of space.
Oh, agree, 100%. I can't agree more.
Jerome would have loved this place.
Hi. Oh, bye. Bar patron, bar patron, bar patron, but you have a name. Hello.
You don't look like one of the salvagers, no? Don't really seem like the type. You've got the look of someone who's traveled far to get here and whose journey is far from over.
Okay, well, what makes you say that?
Confidence. The scavengers around here, they're faking it. You're the real deal. I don't know if you're bound for the old ruins, but in case you are, can you look into something? I'd do it myself, but of course, the Marauders would eat me alive.
Yeah, it depends on what you need.
Looking for something out there. Been paying Sublight to help me, but they haven't made much progress.
Well, Sublight wouldn't turn over a rock unless there's salvage underneath it.
Well put. My husband and I worked on Gorgon during the good times. Jerome was on maintenance duty. I cleaned out test tubes till they sparkled.
Where is he now?
Nowhere good, that's for sure.
Ooh.
In his final hours, Gorgon was a war zone. Violence broke out in the labs. The hills were full of marauders. You couldn't take a leisurely stroll without an armed escort. When the order came through to evacuate, non-essential personnel drew a lottery to see who would board the first wave of ships. Jerome won. I lost. As soon as I wasn't looking, Jerome switched our tickets and pushed me to the front of the line. I got to leave. Jerome stayed behind. I never saw him again.
Sorry to hear that, man. So what brings you back?
A broken heart, that's what.
Oh.
This place is greedy. Took my Jerome, and it would have taken me too. I just want one thing back. His old hip flask. I gave it to him the day we signed our marriage contract, and he carried it wherever he went. I know it's still here.
What do you think happened to him?
No point in denying it, he died on this rock. Likely torn apart by marauders, unless he took care of himself on his own terms. I don't like to imagine what happened, but I know I have to accept it.
That is never a fun thing to do, but it's understandable. I can keep an eye out for
You
that.
really do that for me? Law, and I'll bet you're worth 10 of those sublight sprats. I don't have much, but if you help me, there's a little set aside for the occasion. Jerome used to drink with his buddies in a small kitchen opposite the maintenance shed. Might be a good place to check first.
Okay. Sure, why not? But I wanted to ask you something first. Do you know Lucky Montoya?
That old flirt? Yeah, I let him buy me a drink or two. He talked my ear off about exciting jobs he'd done. All lies, I'm sure. He fell asleep with his head on my shoulder. That man had baggage like you wouldn't believe. I didn't think anyone could be lonelier than me.
Was he like depressed or something?
He put on quite a front, but I think he was weary. Like he'd seen too much and had too little to show for it. Guess we were kindred spirits in a way.
Did he mention anything about a Gorgon research
He
facility?
bragged about having the key to some sort of maintenance area in one of the old buildings. I never saw it, so I just assumed he was talking himself up. He also asked if I wanted to see something gross and slimy he kept in his room, but I declined, politely.
Alright, well, that's all.
Sure thing. My condolences if you two were close.
Nah, that's fine.
The lab coats kept quiet about the project, but the air was charged with excitement. You could feel it wherever you went. They wanted to change the world. A tenfold boost to worker productivity with no side effects? Who wouldn't salivate at the thought? I don't know what went wrong, but when the shit hit the fan, it sprayed everyone in its path, including me.
Huh? He seen you. Alright. Well, first off, I need to just do one thing. Alright. I fucking